The King's Avatar is everything that I've wanted in an animated series revolving around gaming for years. Japan has failed to deliver a compelling series that I have more good things to say than bad, and still they have yet to satisfy my thirst for a good video game focused animated series, but out of nowhere, China stepped up to the bat and hit a home run that crushed everything Japan has attempted with one single series. For some, this may be a fine series, nothing too special, or maybe a bad one. But for me, this 12-episode series that is already confirmed for a second season did everything that I've wanted, and then some, and today I will be breaking down why I thoroughly enjoyed this series so damn much. As someone who plays video games as their primary pastime, I've always wanted a good series in the animated form that takes what I love about gaming and just rolls with it. Things like Sword Art Online, Log Horizon, Dot Hack have all tried, and many others that is, but they all have numerous flaws in my opinion. I don't hate all the series Japan has used this style with, even Sword Art Online. It may be a trashy harem, but the world is kind of fascinating, with the action being mind-numbing but pretty to look at. Log Horizon has the game mechanics down, so it actually feels like someone who knew what a video game was and was able to write the series with the technical ins and outs, unlike something like SAO. But it lacks a real sense of character. Not one of the characters really hooked me or I really wanted to root for, and it doesn't help that the presentation is a little bland. But it was a fine series for what it was worth, and that's been anime for me as of late when it comes to a series revolving around gaming, or those trapped within a game. It's fine, and I guess that's the best that I'll get. But in terms of the King's Avatar, it delivered on both the game, the characters, the story hook, presentation, and the beautiful OST. The story of the series revolves around esports and those who play this massively popular game, Glory. The main character of the series is the best at the game they all play. He has been playing for more than 10 years and no one is more skilled than him at this game. Though because like any business, money is all that matters and not skill, and since our main lead has no commercial value, he is forced to hand over his character to one with marketing value and ultimately is kicked out of the league and can't return until a year after due to the fact that he breaks his contract with his team. He's already 25 and this is considered old for the league, so to them this is the league killing his career. So what we want throughout these 12 episodes is a man who is the best at this game, forced down to nothing, who then gets a job at an internet cafe as the nighttime manager, where he starts from scratch, using the 10 years of skills he has, makes a brand new character, one that will be the best in the game in theory, unbeatable with his skill set, and to show everyone who is boss. What I love about this story is it's not a trapped in a video game series, it's a computer game and nothing more. But because this is an animated series, they can go the route of animating it like they are inside the game to give it that adrenaline rush that we need. But they always are just playing with a mouse and keyboard, so there is never a cheap line like die in the game and die in real life, or we must figure out how to escape. No, the entire story is watching a pro player work his way up from level 1 up to the max level. This is the story hook I've been wanting. Watching a man forced into retirement because he wasn't some whore who sold his body to cheap ads, having to start the game that he loves from scratch, making a new character customized with all the years of knowledge he has. No one in this game could think of making a character not specialized in one class, or to make a custom weapon that is fit for any situation, because unspecialized characters are weak. They aren't good in any one area, so a character who specializes in magic, guns, melee, or whatever else are naturally stronger. But in the hands of a pro player who has a skill set above everyone else, who knows everything about this game, he can make a weak character build into something amazing and possibly OP. The entire show is watching him work with new and old friends alike, playing on a brand new server where everyone thinks he is a new rookie who will be the next big shot in this game, while aiming to make the best build he can so he can return to the pro league and smack down all who got in his way. Some people have said it's boring to watch an overpowered character always win, and that's a valid criticism for many series like the previously mentioned SAO. But in the case of King's Avatar, I highly disagree. See, what makes his overpowered nature work is due to the technical reasons behind it. There is always a breakdown on what he is doing, how he is using his party to achieve to what some seem to be an impossible task. There's never a scene where he just punches better than the other guy. No, it's all his knowledge from the past 10 years and how he's able to think on the fly like any pro gamer can, and that's why you never see him really lose. What makes every match, every event so exciting is seeing how would a pro overcome this obstacle. There are plenty of pro gamers who you'll watch on Twitch who seem to be unstoppable, but you don't watch to see them lose, you watch to see how they will continue to win, and this is what makes the main character in this series so intriguing. As the show goes on and when he eventually returns to the league, he will be against pro players always, and ultimately he won't be unstoppable 24/7 been like in this season. But even so, what makes the lead so much more intriguing than someone such as Kirito is he doesn't just hack the game mid-scene, he has actual skill. His APM is high, he has knowledge on everything in the game as someone naturally would playing for over 10 years. He spent years only going up against pro players. Starting from scratch isn't hard in the sense of fighting difficult opponents. The challenge is building a character who will be fit for the pro league while also figuring out how to clear these challenges with a currently low-level character. What I love is even though the man is strong, he isn't a one-man show. You may be able to solo a raid, but you can't break records alone. It's a team effort. And there's a surprising large supporting cast who all have fun personalities that bounce well off one another. So whenever the team changes up, you always expect a fun cast dynamic with both personality and skills bouncing off of one another. Our main character may be a smug prick sometimes, but he is a caring guy at the end of the day and is willing to help his friends get better at the game and those willing to pay his fee. The way the series animated the fight sequences is beautiful as well. All the creatures get animated, so very rarely will something just be a static shot. All the monsters get animated alongside with the characters to make every match, every raid, and every quest a damn fine treat to look at, with the intense soundtrack to make it all the more thrilling. The worst shots generally come from the internet cafe that he works at, as you'll see a CGI model sitting at a computer or something to that nature. But you never really get bothered by it, as most of the time the series is highly detailed, especially when it comes to the in-game content. Usually the action is what makes these sort of series the most entertaining, watching the characters play the game, but in the case of the King's Avatar, I was just as interested in watching the characters outside the game as I was excited to watch them play it, and that's something that's very important. If all you have is fun action, then what keeps you truly watching and not just watching an AMV on YouTube? Seeing all the teams talk outside the game, watching people train, talk with one another for something nothing more than just to catch up, everything seemed engaging, and it's all due to the characters being more than just tropes. Some more than others, mind you, but it never just felt like this girl is strong and now that our main lead has beaten her, she wants to play this game to just beat him. They may not have the same detail as the main character, but you did get a sense of desire and goals from all the members that always made me excited to listen to any one character, but of course the lead himself is what drives the show. That's not a bad thing. The worst part of the entire series is some of the comedy moments when they pull away and do a shift with the animation for a comedic moment. Granted, more times than not I consider the dialogue funny, but sometimes it was a little jarring. But when I'm not seeing a 13-year-old girl's panties non-stop or almost rape sequences every other episode like in the case of SAO, and all that stuck out like a sore thumb with some weird comedy, I'll consider this a winner and thank the gods this series was handled by China and not Japan. Maybe this series just didn't click for you like it did for me, but as someone who has given up on this genre, who has been tormented by fan service, cheap characters, piss poor gameplay mechanics, seeing a series such as this give me adult characters who I enjoyed watching, a game with technical sides to it with detailed ins and outs that feel believable, throwing it in an esports environment with no sexual fan service, I can't help but say this is what I've been waiting for. As soon as I finished this show, I started re-watching it. I loved everything about this series, and even the McDonald's sponsorship made me smile. Overpowered characters can be fun to watch, but you can't just say they are strong and call it a day. You need to show why. And it's why myself and many watch esports, because we like seeing the best of the best be badasses and kicking ass and taking names, because we see how they are doing it. And this is what King's Avatar does, and does very well. All the records he sets, all the monsters he slays, or people he destroys, you learn about his skills and his character and weapon build and his strategies every single time. And the very few times you don't, you've learned enough about his playstyle that you yourself can piece together how he overcame whatever obstacle it may be. When you have a detailed game such as Glory, a pro player starting from nothing and working his way up with a great cast to back it, I have to ask, what's not to like? I'm glad this show gained a lot of popularity over the past season, but there are many who never gave this a shot because we've seen too many game-focused anime burn us time and time again. But even friends who hated this style fell in love with this show. Call it an anime, call it a Chinese cartoon, call it whatever the hell you want, but for me, I'll call it what I think it is. The video game animated series I've always wanted, and I'm excited for season 2 next year, and I hope this becomes a long-running series as it definitely deserves it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Love or hate the series, I enjoy reading everyone's thoughts on it, so let me know yours. And before you leave, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as both of which help greatly. And if you like what you see here and you want to go the extra mile, then head on over to my Patreon, and if you feel like kicking $1 or $2 my way, then you'll have my eternal gratitude. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.